I'm CLARA Hermit reporting for Zessoo at the Animal Rights March 2018. We're here in London at Westminster where loads of people are gathering. We're expecting 5,000 to 7,000 people, all with one thing on their mind: rights for animals. How many people are we expecting today?
I would say at least 5,000.
At least 5,000. I heard rumours of 7,000, which would be absolutely
that's
epic.
even better.
How are you feeling? What's the energy, the atmosphere like?
Excited. Yeah, it's good. There's loads of people around today. It's a really good crowd, which is amazing.
It's all right, don't worry. This isn't a real tiger. This is Luca. Luca, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right, we're here at the Animal Rights March, and you've gone full get up as a tiger. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really positive and really excited.
Yeah.
It's a amazing day.
Yeah.
To be
loads of like-minded people all around, and the energy just feels really upbeat and lovely. What do you think is the most important thing about this march happening?
It's the building of energy, but it's also about getting us seen. So we're really stepping out now, which is why I'm a tiger today, because tigers are really majestic animals. They're really powerful and they're not afraid to step out alone. They often do hunt alone, so they're very much out there. And that's where we're at. We're having to really step out of our comfort zone and really be heard and really be seen.
So the other thing that I think is really important is whoever you are, wherever you're from, you could look in this crowd and find someone who looks like you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a certain type of person of a certain colour, of a certain age, of a certain sex. It's everybody.
It's everyone. Everyone from young to old, everyone's now waking up and seeing why we need to be vegan, what it's about. It's not just about the food you eat, it's about your entire life. And it's about all animals, it's about all beings.
Being vegan doesn't hinge on any political, preference or, any race or culture. Literally anyone and everyone can be vegan. You don't have to change much except for what you buy, what you wear, what you consume, and what you believe about animals, just those things.
That's an important part, what you wear.
Yeah.
So many people forget about that as well.
Yeah.
There's so many things that people wear, even just leather shoes, that might have an impact.
Well, yeah, nothing from an animal, no skin, nothing that an animal had to be tortured and killed for, bred into existence and used for.
This is Herbie. The mouth actually moves, which is pretty cool. Humane slaughter, nah, that's bullshit. Okay, so just lay down for people who don't know why that's bullshit.
Well, we don't need to eat animals. I've lived 35 years without eating meat. On a very simple level, animals feel pain, they feel fear, and if we can live without eating them, then we should. They deserve to live the same as we do.
I've got a few questions about Sikhism.
Okay.
Sikhism is about caring and being compassionate and giving and being selfless and doing as much as you can. Do you think that there's a link between Sikhism and veganism?
Personally, I would say definitely there is. There is definitely a link, because if we look at our seventh Guru, Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, he actually fought for protection of animals and plants. So that's part of the reason why a lot of Sikhs are today vegetarian, is due to the teachings that have been passed on from our Gurus. So definitely I would say there's a link.
What are your reasons for being here today?
Because I want equal rights for all animals. We are all beings on this earth. We all feel pain. We all have the ability to suffer, and I think they should have equal consideration. We have a voice, and we should use it. We all have the ability to stand up for animals, and it's so important to get up and get out there. I mean, we can all eat a vegan diet. We can all buy cruelty-free, but it's important that we use our voice for good. So how would I approach people? Well, firstly, it's good to make sure that you're understanding, because we were all non-vegans at some point. And we all have to go on a journey. So you have to be understanding, and then also just be open to their ideas, talk to them about it, introduce them to investigations, documentaries. You can take them to the PETA website, where they can learn a lot about what goes on in the meat, dairy industries, and just help them, encourage them. It's important to be patient, because the world isn't going to go vegan overnight, and it is about using your voice to help educate others in any way you can. You don't achieve anything by being quiet.
Everything's getting lively. It looks like we're kicking off. Are you ready to march?
Yes!
Woo! Go!
When do we want it? Now! What do we demand? When do we demand it? Now! What do we demand? What do we want? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want?
If you could spread, you know, one piece of advice to people that want to do something or take some sort of activism or action, what do you think? You know, people assume that they can't do things themselves.
My best advice is start now. Start now. Don't wait till you've got this best camera or till you're confident. Or confidence comes as you go.
Yeah.
You know, you build your confidence, you build your platform. You need to start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Do what resonates with you. Be creative. Use your abilities and skills. If you don't like doing what someone else does, do what you want to do. But as long as it's for the animals, just start now.
And start on social media or start in your local area.
You don't have to.
You
don't have to, but I recommend people do because you can reach so many more people just so easily with less energy.
Yeah.
And it can literally go viral on social media. Can't really go viral out here on the street unless you get the news involved, which can be done, but it's so much easier. We've got our own media.
We've celebrated, we've been loud, we've cheered, we've fought together in unison, but we must not remember who we're here for and why we're here. So for the next minute, I would like complete silence, please, as we remember why we're here, the beings that we've marched for, and the reasons why we have to take to the streets, for the trillions of animals that are still killed needlessly and mercilessly every single year. If we could have a moment of silence for them, please.
Aren't you angry enough? How many more times can you bear to watch yet another innocent being driven to their slaughter? How many more times do you need to hear of another horse being shot at the races? How many more times do these things need to happen until we stand up and make sure that they cannot and will not profit from the fear and suffering of innocent creatures ever again? Let's remember why we are here. We are here to achieve total animal liberation, not to enlarge the vegan aisle in the supermarket. Diversity of tactics was, is, and will be the only way to achieve systematic change. Direct action gets the goods, but by itself is ineffective if we don't create social conscious of why morality and legality don't align, and if we don't start supporting those behind actions and those behind bars. Sure, spray painting "Go Vegan" on the butchers in Kent didn't get the butcher's son to stop eating meat. However, it did start a conversation. In newspapers and on the TV and on social media, arguments against the so-called vandals and discussions about the legitimacy of meat consumption popped up left, right, and center. That is the key to total liberation.
No matter what we look like, no matter our size, skin color, hairstyles, sexuality, or gender, we are all here united to fight for the vulnerable, the tortured, the mutilated, the abused animals suffering right now across the world.
There are only 3 ALF guidelines. Number 1, to liberate animals from their hell. Number 2, to cause economic damage to those who profit from them. Number 3, to not harm anyone, human or non-human, in the process. We have been given the green light to announce something historical. After a few years' gap, the UK now has an Animal Liberation Front press officer. They can now speak out for activists and explain their actions. So, we will ask again, how many more animals need to die? How many more millions do they need to make? How many more days of torture inside a lab? How many more photos do you need to see? What is it that you need to get angry enough.
Michael Jackson sung about how we have to look in the mirror and make that inner change before we can change the world. But not everyone gets the opportunity to consider and nurture themselves and thus those around them. Many people are struggling to just get by day, financially, emotionally, spiritually. So as you extend your circle of compassion to include all types of beings, I implore you to appreciate where others are coming from and how they have come to see the world so differently to us. I often ask, what pain and denial must this person be in to accept the brutality of killing and eating animals in factories as normality? And how can I relate to that? We can't just point the finger and get enraged at people who abuse animals. It doesn't change their minds and it just makes us angry. We need to connect with others who see animals differently first in order to open their minds and help them make the connection. That is, as I see it, the nuanced, complicated, but vital work of the animal rights movement.
I want to talk about a place that I visited last year, one of the many hellholes that exists on this planet. I visited a dairy farm, and we walked into the dairy farm during the day, and we walked around and we filmed the animals as we saw them in their prisons. And we came across a pen, and in this pen there was a mother and the mother's baby. Now the farmers knew that we were there. They'd seen us, and they didn't seem to mind about us being there. And they told us they were going to take the baby away from their mother. And now we knew this is what happened in the dairy industry. We knew that every single calf that was born was taken away from their mother, normally within 24 to 72 hours of birth. And so we were faced with a dilemma. Do we leave or do we stay? Now we could leave and pretend that that suffering didn't exist. But to turn a blind eye to suffering does not mean that that suffering no longer exists. We must not turn away with our eyes what they are forced to endure with their bodies. And so we decided to stay and to see and to film and to bear witness to the suffering that was about to commence. And so I filmed as the farmer came into the pen, and he took the calf and he threw the calf into the trolley and he wheeled the trolley with the calf away. I followed the mother, and I followed the mother as far as she could go until the farmer closed the gate on her. I looked into the mother's eyes, and I saw pain, I saw fear, I saw anguish, I saw her pleading for help, but I saw confusion. She had no idea why this was happening to her. No one could explain why we did these things to her. No animal in these situations understands why. We are here today for the calves taken away from their mothers. We are here today for the hens who are exploited for their eggs. We are here today for the chickens who are exploited and murdered for their flesh. We are here today for the pigs who are locked in farrowing crates. We are here today for the lambs on the way to the slaughterhouse. And we are here today for the millions upon trillions of animals who are mercilessly dragged out of the ocean. The marine animals who are killed without any dignity or respect. We're here today for all the animals tortured in laboratories, for all the animals abused and tormented in zoos and circuses and aquariums. We're here today for all the animals who are plucked and sheared and skinned and murdered for their flesh, their feathers, their fur and their wool. Now what lies ahead of us will not always be easy. We will feel pain, we will feel anguish, we will feel despair, and we may even feel hopelessness. These industries will spread lies. They will try to scam people. They will try to deceive us. They will question our integrity. They will question our individual characteristics and our motives, and they will try and drag our image through the mud to try and make us no longer credible. But we have one thing, the truth. And that is all that we need. For too long, these industries have deceived the public. They have lied and manipulated and scammed us. But we will no longer tolerate that. We look at these industries and we look these people in the eye and we say, no more will you be allowed to commit these transgressions upon those beings that exist on this planet alongside us, not for us. So come together, fight together. Because when we do so, when we fight in unison and as one, we can change the world. And so I ask you this one final question. Are you with me? Thank you very much.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us here today at the Animal Rights March 2018. What an incredible event. please hit that subscribe button over here, wherever it is. And it's you guys that make this possible. Without you, it's not possible. So hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you soon.